Hi everyone, this is Professor Benjamin, and the purpose of this video is to give you a video walkthrough of the midterm exam. So the midterm exam is an all-essay exam, and a review for the midterm exam can be found right here under the sustainability session. The reason that I give you this review is so that you have time to write out the answers before the midterm exam. So the midterm exam, you're given one chance and 3 hours, and a lot of students think, well, during that 3 hours I can find all of the answers and type out all the answers, but unfortunately 3 hours is really not a lot of time when you're kind of fidgeting around looking for the answers, because I want detailed, and each answer needs to be at least a paragraph in length. So 3 hours can fly by in that time period. So I give you all the questions that are on the midterm exam before the midterm exam. And this is so that you can type out your answers before the midterm exam. A lot of the answers to the midterm exam have been given to you in roundups before, or walkthroughs. If you haven't had a chance, please go to the announcements tab up here and go back and look at the walkthroughs that I've given you. Look, walkthrough of session 1 and 2, walkthrough of session 3 and 4, walkthrough of session 5 and 6, and you will find some of the answers to the midterm questions. I actually give them to you, so make sure that you are doing that. And it will be helpful and fruitful for you to do that. So I want to take the midterm exam review and I want to walk through the questions with you to kind of tell you where to find the answers. I'm not going to give you the answers, but I'm going to tell you where to find the answers. So I'm going to open this up in Word because I use Word. And I will just kind of tell you everything here. So the first things first is that in the past I've had students post questions on Course Hero, and then the tutors on Course Hero answer the questions for them. And one of my big issues with Course Hero is, number one, it's cheating. Number two, I have not given permission to ask Course Hero any of the questions that I've produced. The other thing is Course Hero uses sources that I have not given you. And so if you use Course Hero, I have all the answers from Course Hero. I am an avid member of Course Hero. So if you've used any of the answers that have been given on Course Hero, either from other students or from the tutors, you will receive a 0 for the midterm or the final and a 0 for the class, because to me it's cheating. So just please take that into account. So your midterm can be found in a separate module titled Midterm, which can be found after session 3. So it's actually found in the air session, like right before the air session. It's going to cover the introduction, tragedy of the commons, consumption, sustainability, ethics, economics, and policy. And food should be on there. I don't know why it doesn't say food on there, but it should say food on there. You'll be given 3 hours and one chance between the dates given on the syllabus to take your midterm. You must use Google Chrome or Firefox. If you're using like Edge or Explorer, we have a lot of problems with that. The other thing is, please make sure that your computer has like rebooted itself or doesn't have a slow internet connection. I will not open an exam. So if you start taking an exam and accidentally hit the submit button, I am not opening exams. You have all the questions before the midterm exam. Really, the midterm is for you to go in and copy and paste your answers into the portal. And so if anything happens, your computer freezes, there's all these other issues, I really can't help you because I can't troubleshoot everyone's computers. I can go back and look at Canvas and see if they had an outage, which very rarely happens. I think it's happened one time in the past 8 years that I've taught. Other than that, most likely it's on your end, and unfortunately that is an issue. I will not be giving any makeups or extensions, etc. All of the answers for these have to be from the sources I've given you. If you use outside sources, I know. And you will receive a 0 for the question. No points. You will receive a 0. So please make sure that you are using the sources I've given you, which means you have to go back and reread the material I've given you. If you start looking around on the internet, I know all the answers. So it has to be from the stuff that I've given you. Okay? No outside sources will be accepted, except the second part of the answer to the preservation conservation question, because I allow you to go out and find a little bit more information about Hetch Hetchy, although in the PowerPoint there's a lot of information about Hetch Hetchy as well. So I will let you do that, okay? So You won't need to tell me really where all your sources are, because I know where the sources came from. Like, I know all the information in all of the sessions, in all the textbook, in all the videos that I've given you to watch. I know all the sources, so I will know where you developed your answers from. So let's walk through this. What are the main reasons for uncertainty in understanding the environment, and how does the scientific method help us remove this uncertainty? So this one is, it's found in the PowerPoint, and so you need to talk about what are the main reasons, and I will give you a hint. There's an individual by a weather map that will help you into that kind of area. And it is all about the fact that it's just, there's a lot going on. We're ignorant, the complexity of it. There's a lot of issues with why we are uncertain about what's going on. And how does the scientific method help us remove uncertainty from science? And I want you to be specific, not just because it's a series of steps. Explain the series of steps and why it's important and how it removes that uncertainty. And go back to your scientific method assignment. It may help a little bit. Why are negative and positive feedback loops important for the environment? You cannot just write because it brings about homeostasis. That's not a paragraph. I would explain what a positive feedback loop is as per this class, not per the human body or anything else. What is a positive feedback loop? What is a negative feedback loop? And then how together they bring about that balance to the ecosystem. What is the difference between primary and secondary ecological succession, and why is success important for the ecosystems? That should be, say, successions. That must have been my, I'm going to fix that. I'll re-upload this. Succession for that. And so I want you to explain to me why that is the case. Why is primary and secondary succession important, and what are they? So there's a great video that can help you with that. Session 2 is Tragedy of the Commons. You need to go back and read the Hardin article if you haven't already. I mean, really make it a study piece for you. I want you to explain to me why do we use mutual corrosion to protect the commons, and he talks about parking meters. Very important here. It makes us feel like our freedoms aren't taken away when they actually are. And there's more to it than that, so I want you to answer that. And does it work as per the article? And as per the article, yes, it does work. But you need to explain to me why. Why does he say yes? And I kind of just help tell you, but I need you to look up the answer. Why does a welfare state not help to protect the commons as per Hardin, as per this article? Why do technical solutions not work in solving the commons problem? These will probably be all separate questions. So a paragraph for this question, a paragraph for this question, a paragraph for this question, okay? Explain how our current views of the environment have been formed. Be sure to include religion. And I explained this in the roundup last week, the roundup for session 4 and 5, so make sure, or 3 and 4. Make sure you go back and listen to the past roundup, and I explained to you why monotheistic religions are an issue. But there's more to it than that, so I need you to explain the other things as well. Industrial revolution, domestication of plants and animals, there's a lot to it. And you can find that answer in the PowerPoint. Can we put monetary value on clean air and forests? Yes, we can. If you say no, the answer is wrong. Yes, we can. The price is just not accurate. And then there's a lot of issues with it. And so there are at least 2 controversies associated with contingent valuation. And why are these controversies by some economics surrounding the use of ecological valuation? This is found in the PowerPoint and that article, Pricing the Priceless. Part of it's found in Pricing the Priceless. Part of the answers, the ecological valuation part, is found in the PowerPoint. Preservation and conservation. Explain the difference between a conservationist and a preservationist as they relate to this class. So if you Google what a preservationist is, you're going to get the wrong answer because it's going to say they protect buildings. And in this class, it has nothing to do with that. It means hands-off nature. Conservationists are the greatest good for the greatest amount of people, utilitarianism viewpoint. And then I want you to explain what happened with Hetch Hetchy from start to end. It's not just the fact that they wound up building the dam. There were things that happened before the building of the dam that have really set the tone for how we use resources in terms of the environment. And so I want you to look into that. Session 4, I give this answer in the roundup, so make sure you take a look at the listen to the roundup again. why can we not live on a linear system in a finite world? And how does our consumption activities addressed in the story of stuff contribute to the issues surrounding linear systems? So that is talked about in that roundup that I gave last week. Also, perceived obsolescence, planned obsolescence, and externalization of costs. I want you to talk about those in the answer. So remember, perceived obsolescence, what is it as per the story of stuff? What is planned obsolescence? How does it contribute to that idea that we use resources and just throw them away? And then externalization of costs is the fact that we pawn off the charge to third-party individuals and we never pay the true price for objects. So it allows us to continue to buy things because prices are cheap on items that we probably should be paying a lot more money for. So take a look at that. Fair trade. What is fair trade? And this is under the sustainability session. What is fair trade? You need to be specific. There's a lot involved with what fair trade is. Fair working conditions, fair prices for the producers, and then for all the people along the middlemen. Everyone along the line gets paid fair wages. Our prices are higher because people are paid the correct amount. There's not externalization of cost along the way. And why is fair trade coming under criticism? And this is in the podcast. I want you to take this from the podcast. I don't want you to look up online. Why is fair trade coming under criticism in Google? That's not the answer I'm looking for. The answer I'm looking for is in the podcast. And why is supporting fair trade essential in our quest to stop linear system model? And so hopefully you're able to critically think about this answer. This answer requires critically thinking about what you know about this versus this, and how can fair trade stop us from consuming so much? And a lot of it has to do with the cost of items, okay? And then this last question comes from Fed Up. And I want you to list the what ifs. There's more than one what if. I want you to actually list the what ifs. And I also want you to address all the what ifs that are talked about in the film. And this is how I'll know whether you watch the film or not. Which one would make the largest amount of difference? And which do you think would be the most difficult to make happen as per the film, and why? And that means that you need to actually quote things from the film. So I want you to prove to me that you watched the film. And I want you to tell me scenarios that happen in the film to back up why you're saying which one would make the largest difference, and which do you think would be the most difficult to make happen. By you explaining to me things that from the situations that were spoken about and addressed in the film, that will tell me that you watched it. If you give me a canned answer, that means you looked up the review of Fed Up online and you developed your answer from that. I want specific examples from the film, okay? Hopefully this walkthrough helped you. All of these questions will be on the midterm exam. There will be no surprises, no surprises. All of these questions will be on the midterm exam. And so there will be no surprises. So make sure you prepare. Type out a paragraph answer to each one of these questions before the midterm exam. Remember, one chance. You get one chance in 3 hours to take the midterm exam. You will do fine. You have all of the material and all of the answers in front of you. I know you will do well.